Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and do celebrity legal news. Also, join me for my pop culture chats. If you'd like to support the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. My Venmo and Cash App is below. Thank you so much, and let's get started.
Sure. We've got a lot of some sad news to report. I want to go over this and be as delicate as I can with this information because it all sprung up over the weekend, over the last part of last week and over the weekend. And I was trying not to immerse myself in stuff like this, but I do think I want to be able to report on what's going on. And as you all enter, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd be so inclined, please uh please subscribe to my second channel, PETV_reacts, on that channel starting January 2026. That is where I will exclusively be doing my TV and television, movie and TV reviews, trailer reviews. I will also, please subscribe. I need 200 folk, and then I'll be able to do live reactions as I am watching the shows. So make sure that you all do that for me. I really appreciate it. So, the first tragedy massacre that I want to talk about is the Bondi beach attack that happened in Sydney, Australia. I've got a news report that I want to go over with this, and then we'll come back and discuss it uh, beyond this. Let me share my screen. All right. So let's make sure we can get it without the commercial. There.
Australia's Jewish community in mourning and the nation in shock after a seaside celebration of the Festival of Light became one of the darkest days in Australian history. Two gunmen opened fire on a peaceful Hanukkah gathering. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation says police identified the gunmen as Sajid Akram, who died at the scene, and his 24-year-old son Naveed, who remains in custody at the hospital. Authorities saying the younger man's name had come up in a previous investigation in 2019. The massacre claimed 15 lives, a 10-year-old girl, a former police officer, two well-known rabbis.
The life was like leaving him, and then he just went.
Also killed an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor who came to this idyllic spot to find peace and whose last act was to shield his wife. The horror attack has left dozens in the hospital. But officials say it would have been worse if not for Ahmed Al-Ahmed. The Sydney shopkeeper and Syrian immigrant tackled a gunman single-handed. He remains in the hospital after being shot, his parents proud. Hailed as a hero around the world.
He saved a lot of lives, so very brave person.
Some here asking how the alleged gunman amassed an arsenal in a country famous for strict gun control. Australia's Prime Minister today says laws may need to be even tougher and that more will need to be done to help the nation's Jewish community.
Okay, so we've heard that. So apparently, as we recap what the news report is saying, that these two men set fire at a festival of lights, which is a Jewish community celebration. My understanding is that these two individuals are Pakistani, are from Pakistan, but they are, I guess, are Sydney, Australia citizens. And so they let fire, and all these people were unalived. let's get into the Brown University attacks. Let me make sure that I have it right. Give me one moment. I'm trying to. That is not my. I apologize. It looks like I've misplaced it. How I do these things sometimes. Well, we'll just watch this short film. short
Our investigation into this horrific act remains ongoing. It has been ongoing. We will continue to endeavor to not confirm any information that is not yet confirmable.
I didn't know what was going on right away. I had heard some loud sounds, and I am so conditioned to thinking that something like that could happen. So my first instinct was that it was a gun, but then I was like, no way, that wouldn't happen. And so I just kept sitting. But then a friend of mine in the office jumped up and when he got the alert and alerted everybody, we ran to close everything, turn the lights off, and hide for an hour until the police came in. Go.
All right. So what do we know about the Brown University pew-pewing? It says a shooter dressed in black unalived at least 2 people and wounded 9 others, and I think they upgraded that to 10 others, in a classroom at Brown University on Saturday doing final exams. School officials said that they were told that 10 people who were pew-pewed were students. An 11th person was injured by fragments from the pew-pewing, but it wasn't immediately clear if that victim was a student. A person of interest was taken into custody on Sunday morning, but authorities said that around 11 p.m. that the person who was being detained was being released shortly and is no longer considered a person of interest. Let me just read the article, and this is coming from NBC 10 Boston. The person of interest is still at large. They have not caught this person yet. Let me go ahead and show you. You'll see it on my thumbnail. What they have of the person of interest is on my thumbnail. Let me see if I can pull that thumbnail up real quick. So down here, as you see down on the bottom of the thumbnail, this is the picture that they have. We don't have a face. We just have a body shape, and that he's dressed. This person is dressed in all black. I don't think that they know what the person looks like. I guess they're still getting that information from those that may or may not have seen the shooter. And so that is basically what we have, that the shooter is still at large. They had somebody detained, but they let that person go. They realized that that wasn't the person. And so let's go into that article. Gunman remains at large, and this is NPR, 2 days after deadly pew-pewing at Brown University. This is written by Joe Hernandez and Rebecca Rosman. A gunman remains at large 2 days after opening fire inside a Brown University academic building, killing 2 students and injuring 9 others. Officials in Providence, Rhode Island said Sunday evening that police are releasing a man in his 20s who was briefly held as a person of interest. His release leaves authority without any known suspect. They say that they have a murderer on the loose. The outbreak of violence at the Ivy League school shocked the community just days before students and faculty were preparing to leave for a winter break. Earlier on Sunday, authorities arrested a 24-year-old man from Wisconsin who was staying at a hotel in Coventry, Rhode Island, about 20 miles away from Providence. There is some degree of evidence that pointed to the individual taken to custody, but that new evidence has moved the case into a different direction. I've been around long enough, and this is the police chief, enough to know that sometimes you head in one direction and then you have to regroup and go into another. And that's exactly what's happened here over the last 24 hours. Seven of the victims are critical but in stable condition on Sunday, while one victim was in critical condition, according to Brown University President Christina Paxson. A ninth victim was treated at the hospital and discharged. It happened around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Boris and Holly Engineering and Physics Building in an economics class as students were taking their final exam. Our community is strong and we'll get through it, she says in a press briefing. Investigators had previously said that they were searching for a suspect described as a male dressed in black. The suspect fled the scene on foot, but it was unclear how he entered the building, police added. So they don't know if he's a student, faculty, or anything, and they're saying that it's unclear how he entered the building. He may have walked behind somebody who was going in, and that's how he got in. Not sure. But hopefully, I know a lot of places now you have to have a ID and a key card for you to be able to get in and swipe and stuff like that. I think that they have that kind of stuff, but we'll see. On Sunday, Dole said Brown would cancel almost all remaining in-person exams for the fall semester so that the university could focus on our efforts to providing care and support to the members of our community as we grapple with the sorrow, fear, and anxiety that's impacting all of us right now. They lifted the shelter-in-place order on Sunday. So they were sheltered in place for what? They were sheltered in place from Saturday for a whole 24 hours, and they still have not found the gunman. So we had 2 pew-pewings over the weekend. This is what we have. We have on Australia, one of the suspects was pruned from the timeline, which was the father, and the second suspect, which was 24-year-old son, he was arrested. And apparently the government had indications about the 24-year-old and whatever was going on with this 24-year-old over there in Australia. And now Australia, who has strict gun laws, is looking to tighten that up. So we'll see how that'll happen. And again, at Brown University, the gunman is still at large. We do not know any other information than that. They had a suspect, and that suspect appeared to be a dead end. So they're moving in another direction. What do you all think? I didn't want to get too deep in these stories and talk about gun laws and gun control. I just wanted to report what was going on and get you all to engage me down in the comments. What do you all think about these 2 stories? Let me know. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.